What is up, guys? Welcome to my trailer breakdown for Legends of Tomorrow Season 3 Episode 14, titled Amazing Grace. This video will be more of a synopsis breakdown than a trailer breakdown because the synopsis gives away a lot more than the trailer, and there's really not much to talk about in the trailer, but there is a lot to talk about in the synopsis. So while I will play the trailer and I will talk about it for a little bit, I will be mostly talking about the synopsis in this video, so it is more of a synopsis breakdown than its trailer breakdown. But regardless, let's watch the trailer.
Elvis Presley.
Don't tell me they mess with the king.
Are you folks doing that?
The only people evil enough to kill rock and roll, the Darks.
Elvis's music literally drives Memphis insane.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow. All new episode Monday at 8, 7 Central on the CW.
So this trailer doesn't really give much away other than the fact that they're going back to the 50s and something about Elvis's music is literally driving people insane. That's all we know. I'm guessing that, and they also say that it's the Darks that did this, but that's not confirmed or anything. That's probably just Nate speculating. It might be Mallus, it might be an anachronism that didn't go onto the radar until now. I don't really know, but it's not confirmed that it's Damien Dark and Nora Dark that did this. But that's really all we know from the trailer. So the synopsis is where the juicy stuff is, and there's one huge, really big thing in the synopsis that I want to talk about extensively. So with that in mind, let's read the synopsis. When the Legends learn that a mysterious tragedy destroyed Memphis in 1954, thus eradicating the birthplace of rock and roll, they embark on their most important mission to save music. Nate is excited to show Amaya why music is so important to him, and he's surprised at least to a rock legend, which is Elvis, as well as the sixth and final totem, the Death Totem. Meanwhile, Zari helps their newest member try to adjust to the team. So everything up to the Death Totem is something we knew from the trailer, except for the fact that it leads to the eradication of Memphis, something like not eradication, but destroying Memphis, which means eradicating the birthplace of rock and roll. That's all we didn't know from the trailer from the beginning part of the synopsis. So this thing that Elvis's music is literally driving people insane, it will lead to the destruction of Memphis, and which will lead to the eradication of rock and roll, which I guess means that will change music forever. Apparently, that's the only thing we don't know from the trailer at the beginning of the synopsis. But then it goes to the Death Totem, which is a complete and utter difference. It's crazy how different that is, how more interesting that is to me than the rest. So I said that there probably will be a sixth totem, and it will be a totem like the Death Totem or a dark. I think I called it a dark totem, a darkness totem, but I guess I was close. I predicted that it's a totem that was like shunned by the rest and it was outcasted. I know I'm really personifying the totems, but they are magical totems, so it's possible that they have their own personalities and that they can outcast another one. And the Death Totem is seemingly outcasted because Vixen didn't know. Neither Vixen knew about it, and I don't think Kawase knew about it either. Which means it was there in the beginning, but either it like became evil because it is called the Death Totem. It's weird that there's no Life Totem, but there is a Death Totem. Maybe there is a Life Totem. Maybe there's a seventh totem that's called the Life Totem. That would be really interesting. That would be like the main thing that they use to defeat Mallus. Where he has the Death Totem, they have the Life Totem, and then you could have that life versus death fight. But I don't really know because they said that you call them one of the six. So maybe what he means by that is one of the six totems that's not the Death Totem. I think that's possible. I think maybe what happened with Mallus is that he was one of the totem bearers. He was the Death Totem bearer, and then he was a traitor. He betrayed the rest, so they put him in a prison and defeated him, put him in a prison, and took away his Death Totem. And one of the six are those 5 totem bearers plus the Life Totem bearer, if that's a thing. And that's a pretty bold prediction in my opinion. And I actually really hope this happens because at this point Mallus is just this time god and he doesn't have any characterization to him. So making him a former totem bearer who betrayed the other totem bearers and is now craving that said totem, which is another prediction, is that totem might have used to been the Life Totem because those totems weren't ever, none of them were negative, they were all positive. So for one of them to be the Death Totem doesn't really add up. So maybe it used to be the Life Totem, and with Mallus being evil at this point, it's now the Death Totem. That's another prediction. So like it was a life totem, and then it turned into death, so he had to be imprisoned by the rest of the totem bearers. That's another prediction. But back to my thing about Mallus, I think he could use a little bit more characterization. So making him a traitor and a former totem bearer, that would do the trick. But either way, even if that doesn't come true, it is pretty cool seeing the death totem here. It's a cool concept how a totem was outcasted by the rest of the totems. Maybe its totem bearer was outcasted, making the totem outcasted himself, because they're not people, they're totems. So there's no point in personifying them. Even if they are magical totems, they probably don't have personalities, which I think is contradicting something I said earlier in this video. But I guess I'm changing my mind on that respect. I think that the totem bearers outcasted the death totem bearer. Whether or not that's Mallus or someone else, it remains to be seen. But I really like the concept of the death totem, or maybe the former life totem. We don't know yet. So a big question to come out of this synopsis is, what does the death totem do? Does it just kill people? Does it control the dead? Does it bring people back to life? Well, they did have a similar concept in a Green Lantern comic book called Darkest Night, where somebody had the power to bring people back to dead with the Death Lantern. So maybe they're just doing something similar with the Death Totem. I mean, they did bring Damien Dark back to dead. Mallus did bring him back to dead. Maybe he did it using the abilities he inherited from the Death Totem, similar to how Kawaze inherited her water abilities from the water totem without even needing to use it. I don't know. I don't really remember how that happened. I don't know if they explained that. Where's the water totem? But maybe that same thing happened to Mallus, where he absorbed the powers of the death totem, or at least some of them, and is now able to either control the dead or bring the dead back to life. This is actually a really interesting concept to me, because, I mean, if there's going to be like an army of zombies, Mallus and his team versus the Legends in the season finale, that will be a pretty interesting season finale. It probably won't be zombies, because first of all, that sounds really expensive, and second of all, it also sounds pretty gimmicky, and third of all, Damien Dark came back to life, not as a zombie, but as a normal person, so the Death Totem probably can bring people back to life, and not bring people back to life being undead. I don't really know how to call that, but I'm gonna say that the powers the Death Totem has is the ability to control death, meaning it can bring people back to life, and maybe it could also kill people, but really anything can kill you. Any of the totems could kill you, but maybe the Death Totem will have some sort of like easier way to kill you. I don't really know. My biggest prediction is that it can control death, but it will be used a lot more to bring people back to to life. I don't know how that will help him in a fight, but who knows? So the synopsis ends saying, meanwhile, Zari helps their newest member try to adjust to the team. This is like a new member helps another new member kind of thing. That I think that's what they were going for. Maybe they're trying to set up some sort of relationship between those two, which would be a little weird. Really, any of these characters getting together with Zari would be a little weird, because in the comics her husband is Black Adam, so like that's like a main villain kind of character. So like if Kid Flash or the Atom or somebody like that ever fights him and he's married to Zari at that point, that would be a weird fight, and it would really undermine Black Adam as a character. And I don't think Black Adam will ever appear. I mean, Zari appearing does make it more plausible, but he probably won't ever. But still, it is a little weird for for any character to get together with her because of that. So if they are trying to set that up with Wally, then I don't know if that will work. But they might not be setting that up. They might just be having Wally try to adjust to the team, just like a normal person does. So that's it for this video. I know, like I said, this really isn't a trailer breakdown. It's more of a synopsis breakdown, because I talked about the trailer for maybe a minute, and then I talked about the Death Totem for like 8 minutes, and then Wally for a minute. This video was really breaking down the Death Totem. That's really what it was. But that's only because there wasn't really much to talk about, and also the Death Totem really interested me, which is to be expected because it is the Death Totem. But anyway, let me know what you thought about the trailer, if there's really any opinion you could have. But let me know what you think about the Death Totem. Let me know what you think about my predictions about the Death Totem are in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. Thanks for watching.